tell me why. One thing is real, Lord, I'm gonna do anything just to live how I feel. Way down there, only one thing is true. Lord, I'm gonna do anything just to get next to you.
Enga iwi, enga mana, enga waka, enga hewe wha, haere mai, haere mai, haere mai. Ki te tingi e te manu o kāranga nei, tui, 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 tuia. Tui e runga, tui e raro, tui e roto, tui e waho. Tui e te here tangata tihei mauri ora. Raurenga tira mā tēnā koutou. Ka nui tahari kua haere mai nau koutou katoa. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā rā koutou katoa. Ko ngā mana whenua, wai koutou tai nui. Ngā kaitiaki ngā taongo te rohe. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā rā koutou katoa. Very good evening, folks. Welcome. Warm welcome to you to NZAero and welcome to an absolutely auspicious evening. This landmark event, the launch of the NZAero SuperPac 750XL-II, this beautiful aircraft that is here to my right. A very special welcome also to those of you who are joining us online from New Zealand and around the world. Great to have you here as well. You know, it takes a significant amount of time, effort and engineering along with regulatory inspections and oversight to achieve a sign-off on a type certificate amendment, and it's certainly not every day this happens around the world, and certainly, definitely, let alone here in New Zealand. It is absolutely wonderful to have you all here with us this afternoon for this magnificent event. I'd also like to acknowledge the attendance here today of Group Captain John McWilliams, Director Defence Aviation Authority for Royal New Zealand Air Force. Brian Hare, absolute industry stalwart and somebody who's been integral to our work here. Andy Stevenson, another long-time industry stalwart too. From CAA joining us here, we have Manager Certification Jason Ashworth, alongside Kavita Vanbury, Glenn Somerville and David Gill. Couldn't do this without the support of NZAero, our account managers here. Sandy Hickey, great to have you on board. Catherine Lai of the EMA, who's also the CEO of Advanced Manufacturing Group, is here too. Our loyal customers, our friends, our colleagues in the media, and from around the world, great to have you here. A very warm welcome to NZAero and to this fabulous event. My name's Greg Ward. It's my absolute pleasure to be your MC as we roll through over the next hour or so. Just a quick note on housekeeping for this venue here. The restrooms are located for the gentlemen at the rear of the hangar in the factory, which direction I'm pointing right now. And for ladies, if you want to head outside, we have executive restrooms set up for you outside and then just up this side of the hangar here. There's no smoking, obviously, within this space. If you do feel like a cigarette at any point, maybe reconsider your life choices, perhaps at that particular point, or feel free anywhere outside, well clear of the space, please. If we do need to remove ourselves in any kind of haste from this location, then please do follow the instructions of our NZAero staff, and where the exits are very clearly marked, head out this way once you're clear into the apron area and remain there until you're given the all clear to come back. Thank you very much indeed. That's pretty much it from a housekeeping standpoint. Let's get into this. In Aotearoa, we have a long and proud history of powered flight. And although there may be some slight argument worldwide, we're pretty confident the first powered flight anywhere in the world was by our very own Richard Pearce. Now, for as long as the potential for manned flight has been realized, we here in New Zealand have been at the cutting edge of operations, particularly in the agricultural sector. And the SuperPac 750XL-II has its origins here with the world-first purpose-built ag aircraft, the Fletcher Fu-24. The aircraft was quickly embraced and operated by a number of companies around the country, including Robertson Air Services of Hamilton and Te Kuiti. Now, the history of this site that NZAero now resides on dates back to World War II, when a facility was established at Hamilton Airport by the US military in support of its Pacific campaign. And we believe that the old hangar is a US military kit set hangar erected by the New Zealand government, and the site operated between 1942 and 1946 as RNZAF Repair Depot number 1. And what a sight it must have been with those squadrons of Corsairs and P-40s arriving and departing into this particular location. Jumping forward from the war years in the late 50s, several Fu-24 operators, James Aviation, Thames Aerial Top Dressing and Robertson's Air Services formed Air Parts New Zealand Limited at Hamilton Airport to provide aftermarket sales and service to Fu-24 operators. In 1965, Air Parts New Zealand secured the manufacturing rights to the Fletcher Fu-24 and began producing detail parts in Fu-24 aircraft here in Kirikiriroa, Hamilton. The Fletcher turbine derivatives were developed in 65 to 67 and were constructed by Air New Zealand up in Auckland. Between 67 and 72, Air Parts focused on export, with around 30 aircraft being exported, which laid the foundation for our burgeoning aircraft industry. And they contributed to the more than 1,000 aircraft that have been built here in New Zealand, commercially produced all around Aotearoa. Now, earlier, Aero Engine Services Limited had been formed in 1954 by Alf Coleman and Chips Robinson to provide engine and component overhaul facilities in support of the FU24 program. Now, business was focused on engine repair and overhaul, with Chips being a continental factory-trained engineer. Since then, the facility has evolved from aircraft maintenance and modification to aircraft kit assembly to the present-day aircraft design and manufacturer. In 1967, AESL secured the manufacturing rights to the Henry Millicer-designed Victor Air Tourer and reserved rights to purchase the air cruiser from Australian aircraft manufacturer Victor Aircraft. An Air Tourer production was carried out in what is now the current paint shop, and 80 Air Tourer were manufactured by AESL between 67 and 73. Military interest in a more powerful trainer triggered the purchase of the air cruiser type design and development then of the CT4. And in the early 1970s, AESL had developed the CT4 air trainer out of the prototype Victor air cruiser, and in 72, the Royal Thai Air Force ordered 24 of the CT4As, and the Royal Australian Air Force ordered 37. Design and production of aircraft is not for the faint-hearted, though, and government investment was sourced to support the production of these aircraft and to help in meeting those delivery targets. Accordingly, New Zealand Aerospace Industries Limited, NZAero, was born in 1973 with a 50% government shareholding. 25% of that was Air New Zealand, 25% National Airways Corporation, with the other 50% shareholding remaining with the previous company's shareholders, such as James Aviation. Pacific Aerospace Corporation was formed in 1982, which absorbed the maintenance side of James Aviation, and the late 1980s was purchased by Aerospace Technologies Australia, ASTA. ASTA's main interest was for PAC to produce detail parts for commercial airliner contracts with Boeing and Airbus. And under the PAC umbrella, the ubiquitous Crisco aircraft development commenced in the 1980s, and the aircraft was introduced in 1982. Asta was privatized in 85 and purchased by Rockwell International, which was in turn purchased by Boeing a few years later. Now that formed the nucleus of Boeing Australia. In 95, PAC was purchased by NZAero Automotive Limited, and the focus then became a range of aircraft detail manufacturer. Aircraft production continued, including Crisco, productionization of the CT4E and development of the 750XL. And in 2005, a 750XL production line was established in Mirabel, Canada through a joint venture with Mechachrome. And PAC and Aeromotive was purchased by MRO Oceania Aviation Limited in 2006, rebranding to Pacific Aerospace Limited. And the company then entered into a joint venture with Chinese automotive giant Beijing General Automotive. In 2016, purchased the found FBA 2C series of aircraft. Which brings us, of course, here today, to this moment. It's a storied history reflecting the pioneering spirit of aviation in Aotearoa. And that history continues as the evolution brings us forward to today with the birth of NZAero. We'd like to hear from our CEO to join us here on stage. Can I get a round of applause, please? CEO of NZAero, Stephen Burrows.
Thank you very much. You're very kind. 2023 actually marks the 20th anniversary of the 750XL. It was 2003 that the 750XL first got its type certificate here in New Zealand. And here today we've got Brian here. Brian was instrumental behind the development and taking the 750 into production. We've also got Group Captain John McWilliam, who actually conducted a lot of the flight testing on the 750. Also of significance is the very first 750XL, XLA is right here to my left. So we've actually got serial number 1 here, right here today, alongside the latest 750XL-II SuperPac. So the 750 SuperPac is a 100% New Zealand designed and manufactured product, and that's something very, very special. In the world, there's only 30 fixed-wing aircraft manufacturers currently in the world, and there's only 9 making turboprop aircraft. So to actually have a manufacturer in New Zealand that can make a turboprop fixed-wing type certified aircraft is something very special. The 750XL has been in operation for 20 years now, and it's been certified in 28 countries, and it's been operating in over 55 countries around the world. It's an extremely good utility aircraft, and it's able to be adapted and configured into many configurations, including passenger operations, freight cargo, humanitarian operations, medevac, agricultural operations, photo survey, skydive as per that one, and photo reconnaissance. NZAero are very proud to be showcasing not one but two aircraft today. So we've got the 750XL-II SuperPac, and we've also got the 750XL SuperFalco, which is an Andy Stevenson Aviation Limited developed derivative of the 750XL, specific for ag, firebombing, and pollution control. So the SuperPac is the latest evolution and is highly regarded 750XL utility aircraft. It's known to be the most adaptable aircraft in the world. Think of the aircraft as a rugged off-road 4x4 aircraft. The SuperPac introduces a new generation, more powerful engine. It's got the PT6A-140A engine, which is a 900 horsepower capable engine. We're actually only extracting 775 horsepower from this engine, and it's more than adequate for what we require. It's coupled with a Hartzell 4-blade 108-inch variable pitch propeller that excels the aircraft from brakes release to 50 feet in the air in 5 seconds. Can climb to 18,000 feet in about, or 20,000 feet in 18 minutes. It has a 41% increase in climb performance over the original 750XL. The new engine is actually 10% more fuel efficient. So what that means is the aircraft can operate higher, faster, further, and it's actually quieter. It's 4 decibels quieter than the previous model. So from an operator's perspective, this equates to increased operating safety margins while operating from short fields and or in mountainous terrain. Increased climb performance and the ability to haul more freight or passengers, complete more missions per day, or all of which equates to a more productive aircraft than the previous model. Increased flexibility around trip planning and operating with temperatures of the day due to the new hot and high performance, and a less environmental impact through less fuel burn and a quieter noise signature. The aircraft also receives the latest Garmin flight deck. So it's got a G600 TXI touchscreen PFD. It's got the GTN 650 and 750XI Navcom units. And it's got the Electronics International MVP 50T engine indication system. And we're running the new Pratt & Whitney Fastbox for real data acquisition from the engine. Other features for the 750 is the STEC 55 autopilot, Honeywell weather radar, HF and CV FDR, which are all safety features that add to the safety technology installed in the aircraft. So at NZAero, we strive to make products that have a purpose, that do something good in the world. And the 750XL-II is one of those aircraft that can be adapted to so many humanitarian features, such as operating in hot and high conditions, accessing remote villages, extracting people through the medevac equipment. We can do rainmaking through the 750XL-II SuperPac, SuperFalco, and so on and so forth. So the aircraft also provides an essential trading link to these communities, transporting produce to the outside world. It has the ability to transport 9 passengers and cargo into remote airstrips and be quickly reconfigured for the return journey. For countries heavily impacted by natural disaster or are geographically isolated, such as Papua New Guinea or Indonesia, this utility aircraft can actually lift more than its own weight, and that actually puts it into a very unique class of its own. The aircraft can be equipped with high flotation tyres, so if you're landing in soft soils, this feature is often used in places like Papua New Guinea. The aircraft also plays a vital role in the Pacific Islands, where it is used for life-saving medevac transport, humanitarian aid, disaster relief, border patrol, and maritime surveillance. Ease of maintenance and repair enables the aircraft to be deployed to most places in the world. It actually doesn't require anything really in the way of specialised equipment to service it. It can be easily repaired. It's got a 150-hour maintenance program, which is a real plus, so you can get extended operation before you're required to bring the aircraft out for maintenance. The SuperPac can be quickly reconfigured to become an air ambulance, accommodating up to 3 medevac stretchers and 3 medics. This provides a cost-effective solution for emergency evacuation over and above a helicopter. The aircraft can also be configured for geophysical survey work, and the aircraft has been proven over and over in this role. So things that it's doing is use of magnetometers, allowing it to detect minute variations in the Earth's magnetic field, and also the installation of equipment like LiDAR or laser imaging detection. Utilising the modular floor plug, the aircraft can be quickly reconfigured for aerial photography. A large range of cameras can be installed for this application, including digital optical or other thermal imaging or LiDAR. New Zealand was one of the first countries in the world to pioneer aerial top dressing, and it appears 1906 was the first time that aerial top dressing was done in New Zealand. That took me by surprise, so that was done by balloons. Hawke's Bay were one of the first ones to conduct aerial seed sowing. Top dressing never really took off until post-war, and there was a huge drive to try and find a dedicated agricultural aircraft. This organisation here with James Aviation and Air Parts were one of the pioneers of bringing the Fletcher into New Zealand. The Fletcher proved itself to be the backbone of the ag industry. So the predecessor to the SuperPac has formed a critical part of New Zealand's agricultural sector for the past 7 decades, spreading agricultural products across New Zealand to difficult to reach locations and bolstering the New Zealand economy. The second aircraft we're presenting today is the 750XL Super Falco. So the Super Falco is a dedicated agricultural special mission aircraft that uses the same new Evolution PT6A-140 AG engine and the 108-inch propeller onto a platform that's got a 3,000-litre dedicated hopper. The Super Falco has been developed by Andy Stevenson Aviation Limited with support of NZAero and incorporates all the best features and options derived from over 40 years of ASAL agricultural experience. Features such as hydraulic flaps, hydraulic gate box, a hydraulic hopper lid with a generous 3,000-litre hopper makes this aircraft the ultimate 750XL agricultural aircraft. The 3,000-litre hopper also makes the Super Falco an ideal candidate for aerial firefighting. So as we've seen through global warming, fires have been breaking out all around the world, and every season we're busy trying to put out fires. There's a real shortage of single-engine air tanker aircraft in the world. Currently there's only one other manufacturer of single-engine air tanker aircraft. We believe there's a huge future for the Super Falco in the firefighting role. Being a smaller aircraft, the actual all-up weight of the Super Falco is actually lighter than many of the other aircraft in their empty weight configuration. So this enables the aircraft to actually take off and land closer to the action on, say, roadsides or dirt tracks close to the action. It carries a very similar volume, which means that the coverage per hour is a lot higher. The aircraft is also can be configured from firefighting to ag to locust spraying, which is another worldwide problem, and also rainmaking. So you're actually getting an aircraft that can be configured for multi-role So rather than just having an aircraft that's a dedicated firefighter, you've actually got an aircraft that can be used all year round for various roles. So for countries that are heavily impacted by drought, the SuperPac and the SuperFalco can be quickly adapted for rainmaking duties and pollution control. So the SuperFalco is truly the next generation ag aircraft. Just want to sort of cover off a little bit about NZAero and who we are. So NZAero is built on the back of a 70-year aircraft manufacturing history, a history of pioneering spirit and getting things done. So New Zealand's commercial aircraft manufacturing is relatively small by world standards, but to date, over 700 aircraft have been produced out of this facility over 70 years. There is a significant global potential for versatile utility aircraft like the SuperPac and the SuperFalco, and we expect to manufacture 5 aircraft for the coming year. In fact, we've got 4 aircraft in this hangar already. We've got 501, 502 behind you, which will actually be finished this year, 503 over to the left of the hangar, and 504 out the back, which will be finished early in the new year. So there is significant global potential for versatile aircraft like the SuperPac and the SuperFalco. So if we build 5 aircraft next year, we're looking to bring in at least sort of $25 million into the economy. And this could increase to sort of 12 aircraft by 2026. Our aim is to build a sustainable business here. The aim is to meet the existing customers with good aftermarket support and create careers and job and employment for the people of the Waikato. So to do that, we're investing heavily in the young people. We're bringing kids through here from school to try and light a spark within them that aviation is a career path and something that they might be interested in. We're working with organisations such as WECA, Waikato Engineering Careers Association. We're working with the Advanced Manufacturing Group. So we want to be here for another 70 years, and the people that are coming through in the next generation are going to be the ones that are going to be running the business going forward. To conclude, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the following: New Zealand Civil Aviation Authority for their assistance in the development of the program. We have here tonight, we've got Jason Ashworth, Head of Certification. We've got Kavita Van Mari, who was lead on the certification for the 750XL-II, along with Glenn Somerville. And we've got David Gill, Head of Product Certification, and he's the gentleman responsible for the Certificate of Airworthiness on the aircraft. I also want to thank New Zealand Aero's design team, powered by Flight Structures Limited. That's John Kerr, Murray McGregor, Dave Roberts, Kyle Knight, and Adam Jones. I also want to thank our Chief Test Pilot, Ray Long, for his hundreds of test flyers and practical recommendations, which has improved the product. Our dedicated and talented production team for turning this design into reality. The New Zealand Aero Board for their commitment to the completion of this project. Pratt & Whitney Canada for their support and assistance with the engine installation. Hartzell Propellers for developing the propeller around the 750XL. And finally, to our loyal customers, thank you for your feedback and giving us opportunities to innovate. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Stephen. Your passion is absolutely obvious, and the future is very, very bright indeed with the number of aircraft that we have here already in manufacture. It's just a wonderful insight into the aviation industry right here in New Zealand. It's happening right in this hangar this evening. But I'd like to welcome here to the stage another individual who's instrumental in NZAero, someone who has been involved in aviation for a considerable amount of her life and saw the fantastic opportunities that were right here with this particular plant and site. I've known Dee Bond for a number of years now, and it's my absolute pleasure to be able to welcome here to the stage as Director of NZAero. Can I get a round of applause, please, as she joins us on stage, Dee Bond.
Good evening, distinguished guests, PAC 750 founder Brian Hare, Falco founder Andy Stevenson, Group Captain John McWilliams, Waikato Regional Councillor and Chairperson Pamela Story, aviation enthusiasts, media journalists, colleagues, friends and family. Thank you for joining us tonight to celebrate the launch of the SuperPac. It's been an interesting aviation journey for Neil and I. To get to this point in our lives as caretakers of this iconic New Zealand aviation manufacturing business, NZAero. Neil was attracted to flying by his father, who was a Spitfire pilot, and mine, a P-40 Kitty Hawk pilot during World War II. As post-war babies, we grew up in the land of milk and honey. Neil in the Waikato and Franklin, me in Wellington and Marlborough. Neil took to the skies as a 15-year-old at Ardmore, and I purchased an amphibious Lake Buccaneer LA-4-200 in my 20s, then learned to fly. That was so that I could get to our boat access only holiday home in the Marlborough Sounds. How hard could this flying gig be? Well, Neil completed his PPL and flew for fun until building, restoring, renovating, constructing, and becoming a property investment person. That was his passion, and that has driven him for the last 40 over years. I completed my commercial pilot license and flight instructor ratings, flying for a small feeder airline, and engaging in long-distance international flights, air racing, precision flying, and the PBY Catalina flying boat. About 17 years ago, this same aircraft, the Catalina, became the conduit that brought Neil and I together during the Warbirds over Wanaka Air Show. Then in 2010, when we were looking for somewhere we could build a hangar big enough for the Catalina, which has a wingspan of 104 feet, same as the 737, we acquired the Mercer Airport, where we reconstructed the 1940s hangar from Christchurch Airport that had housed Mount Cook Airlines aircraft and the Canterbury Aero Club. A hangar large enough to house the Catalina, similar in size and age to Plant 2 next door. At the same time, we started to acquire Cessna 185 Rex to rebuild for skydiving and established NZ Skydive Limited to bring skydiving back to Mercer. While the skydivers did return, it was not under our company, and that stood dormant for a decade. In 2019, we acquired the assets of a flight school in Matamata. Then in 2021, we got a call from the same seller asking whether we might be interested in an aircraft manufacturing business in Hamilton. Thank you, Stephen Cove. We made an offer, not seriously believing we would be the successful bidder for this site and all its treasures, as others in the industry have significantly more relevant experience. But we didn't want to see the type certificates sold offshore and the New Zealand aviation industry deprived of the wonderful craftsmen that build these fine aircraft. NZ Skydive Limited now had a purpose. At the time, The warehouse was full of parts that, had it not remained an aviation manufacturing business, would have been deemed scrap metal. On day one, we started with 2 staff, Stephen Burrows and Sebastian Eppers. There you are. Stephen has been instrumental in growing the team of 60 that we now employ here over the past 30 months since we took up the reins, while Sebastian has kept the computers running and managed the thousands of parts and the history required to be maintained on each one of them. It's no mean feat being an OEM, an original equipment manufacturer, as some of you will appreciate. And it took us a year to gain our operating certificates from Civil Aviation Authority to be able to start manufacturing and support the global operators of the fleet, which number around 400. An anxious and sometimes frustrating period for all involved, particularly our customers with aircraft on ground. We had to demonstrate we had the skill to design and deliver the product to its specifications, and our team did that in spades. Thank you, Brad Gray, our quality manager, for having the patience of a saint to produce the paperwork necessary to satisfy the audits required. Thanks to the team from CAA, who oversaw this process, ensuring we met the international standards required. Jason, David, Kavita, and Glenn are all with us here tonight. Thank you. Integral to the success of the migration of our ERP computerized records to NZ Skydive Limited was Lee Mossop. Our production controller, without whose systems knowledge the process would have taken much longer. Then Margaret Batters. She joined us to run the accounts, setting up suppliers and customers, filing the old records to make way for the new, and getting the bank accounts operating from the computer system, as well as becoming mother to us all, ensuring our administrative needs were taken care of. The production team, headed by Ray, wave at me, Ray, I can't see you. Ray Long, thank you, was next to be developed. But in our first year, saw them doing anything but production as we cleaned up the site, repaired roof leaks, replaced broken windows, upgraded the lighting system, installed air conditioning, serviced the machinery and tooling, and reorganized the plant so it was ready to run once our certification to operate came through. My thanks in that first year to Ray's team, Richard, Ian, Tommy, Thomas, Jeff, Lucas, Clive, Andrew, Hazel, Stephen, Maury, Jack, Darren, Peter, and Craig. At the board level, Neil and I would like to thank Don McCracken, who talked us into believing we could actually do this, becoming our first CEO while we got our feet on the ground in year one. And Glenn Beale, our long-time financial advisor, for providing us and our senior management team with their ongoing wisdom and advice at board meetings. Thank you. Early in the process, we determined we needed to focus on completing 2 design projects previously started under the old regime. One, to get 750XL MSN 224 certified with its new touch screen avionics, which we achieved in December 2022, and it went to our first customer, the Australian Defence Force, for a gifting program to the Papua New Guinea Defence Force in March this year, followed by a second 750XL in August to the same customer. The second project was the development of the 750XL-II SuperPac. Both projects required significant input from our design team and partners, Flight Structures Limited. Thank you, John Kerr, Murray McGregor, Dave Roberts, now back in the USA, Kyle Knight, and the rest of the team at Flight Structures who contributed to these successful outcomes. Thanks to Pratt & Whitney for the PT6A-140A engine, and to Hartzell for the matched four-bladed top on the SuperPac and on the SuperBelt. Also to our wonderful acoustic consultant, Rhys Hegley, for the noise testing process. NZAero now have a new product to sell, and we will be attending the Wings Over Wairarapa Air Show this coming weekend with the SuperPac to display it there. With mission accomplished, we can now turn our attention to the future, building and supporting the 750XL fleet and our other aircraft, the CT4 Air Trainer and the E350 Expedition and its legacy aircraft, which is also attending the air show this weekend. If an aircraft manufacturing business is anything like learning to fly, it will require lessons to be learned, dedicated attention to detail, listening to the experts, our customers and our craftsmen, and repeating quality processes over and over again to maintain the level of excellence this marque has come to be known for. How hard could that gig be? So, the next chapter of this aviation adventure begins. At this time, I would invite everyone wearing a shirt like me to please stand up and come to the stage, and all of our staff here at NZAero to join me in front of the aircraft for a photograph before we share our launch video with you. Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, come. Come. The man with the Reagans.
Greg, you've got to come over here. I've got a present for you. Your dry rag. He spotted some fingerprints on the front of the thing. He wanted to go and clean off the fingerprints. Yeah, cool.
Come in. Chaps, come this side of the propeller, so this side. Come on over here. Come. Inside the propeller. Inside the propeller. Hello.
Hello, lovely. You can stand right there.
Yeah, Hazel, look, she gets special treatment.
I'm going to take my glasses off for that. Come in. Absolutely. These are the people that love you. So thank you, everyone, for coming and sharing tonight with us. We're so super proud of you guys. We really are. Thank you. You make it happen. Actually.
Thank you very much indeed, Dee. Neil, thank you so much for taking on this fantastic opportunity that we have here in aviation. As Dee has alluded to right now, it gives us a wonderful opportunity to be able to just have a look at how we are sending the imagery of this aircraft out to the world. So, without any further ado, here is our launch video.
The 750XL-II is something quite special. It brings together 70 years of innovation with technology and design. It has been meticulously crafted with attention to detail, built up over decades of working with pilots and engineers. The SuperPac 750XL-II brings the best of that history into a new product with an eye firmly on the future. For pilots and operators, the SuperPac will meet the needs of demanding flight operations. It ticks all the boxes in performance and reliability. The SuperPac 750XL-II is a leap forward. It truly is the future of utility aircraft. The SuperPac 750XL-II, brought to you by NZAero. Landing possibilities anywhere.
Of that aircraft, and I've got to say I had the wonderful opportunity of heading up for a flight this afternoon. I know that a number of us here in the room had that experience as well, and we had the great benefit of our chief pilot and the instigator and manager of the flight test program, Ray Long, along with the ride. And the aircraft, for me, it handled exactly as it says on the outside of the box. Extreme short takeoff, extremely short landing, fantastic climb rate, comfort in the cabin, reduced level of audio noise. It was just fabulous. And I'd love to get Ray to join us here on stage now to tell us a little bit about that test flight program and just dig out some of those milestones as we went through. To do the testing on this type of aircraft requires you have to have a pilot with a significant amount of experience and knowledge and acumen. We have that in Ray Long. I'd like to welcome him to the stage now. A round of applause, please. Chief Pilot, NZAero, Ray Long.
Well, what an introduction. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. I can honestly say that I would rather be repeating the flutter and the negative G acceleration test points that we carried out earlier than standing here in front of you today. Should have brought my glasses. In thinking about the SuperPac program and the number of people and years involved, in getting to where we are today, I thought the development of the SuperPac can be summed up best by giving you the numbers to show the commitment required by all to complete the certification program. The SuperPac development endured a worldwide pandemic and a company liquidation. The development was spread over 2 different airframes and 2 separate companies. It required the submitting of only 2 New Zealand Civil Aviation 005 forms, which was quite good. The program was flown by 4 different test pilots. They were accompanied by 10 different flight test engineers who themselves created 3 separate unplanned environmental biohazards. This is a good note to young, budding flight test engineers: always take a plastic bag. Throughout the program, the flight crew spent over 7 hours on oxygen at or above 20,000 feet, climbing from close to sea level over 17 times, with 6 times in a single day. I can confirm that even the dullest dad joke is hilariously funny in an oxygen poor environment. We flew 181 test flight sorties for 257 hours of flight test time. The ground crews reballasted and refueled or defueled the aircraft for every single one of those flights. A mammoth undertaking, especially when these changes may go from maximum all-up weight rearward CFG to lightweight forward CFG. This would be required usually at very short notice and normally as the flight test crew went to lunch. As best as I can confirm, we undertook over 800 aerodynamic stalls, 68 in a single flight. And considering that almost all of these were at the extreme ends of the flight envelope, only twice did the aircraft truly depart from flight, and only after the pilots really wanted to see what would happen. This is a testament to the inherent stability of the 750XL-II. It was during the flutter testing phase of this program that it really became clear that we were doing something special and different. When you can taxi up to an Aero Club cafe that is full of people in our experimental turboprop aeroplane, climb out wearing flight helmets and parachutes, only to walk in and order lunch as though it was just another day at work. Some of us had red flight suits on. So we'll just get back to the numbers again quickly. We used approximately 56,000 litres of fuel. We consumed 12 cylinder refuels of oxygen, and finally 3 sets of tyres and brakes. Sorry, boss. The aircraft beside me here is faster than the Legacy 750XL, both in a straight line and uphill. It stalls slower, is lighter on the flight controls, significantly quieter, and is safer to fly and operate while using less fuel than before. I would just like to finish up by saying that before I got involved with the SuperPac program, I would have said that the one thing I was most proud of in my aviation career was working as an E-category flight instructor, training new agricultural pilots to operate in one of the most high-risk environments there is. But now the thing I am most proud of is the team of fabricators, assemblers, and designers here at NZAero who created this aircraft, and of course the SuperPac itself. I'll just finish up by saying this aircraft is truly a game changer. Thank you.
Absolutely fabulous. Thank you very much indeed, Ray Long. And what a testament to this aircraft as well. Thank you, Ray, to you and to your test team. Well, folks, we began this evening by mentioning a few people who were absolute pioneers in the industry. And I'd like to, at this juncture, invite our CEO to join us back here on stage for this moment. So, Stephen, can I get a round of applause, please? Stephen Burrows, as he joins me back here on stage. We couldn't have this particular launch without these acknowledgements. And the first of these is for Brian Hare. So, in 1995, Aeromotive Limited purchased Pacific Aerospace Corporation from Aerospace Technologies of Australia, ASTA. Aeromotive was a very successful aircraft maintenance and repair organisation, headed by Hamilton businessman Brian Hare and Dave Mundell. In 1995, PAC was focused on contract piece part manufacture and defence work. Now, Brian had a vision to ramp up new aircraft production and quickly brought on more staff to build that production capacity. Production focused initially on the popular Cresco agricultural aircraft before adding CT4E production for the NZAF and Royal Thai Air Force. Interest grew in the Cresco, not for top dressing, but for skydiving and utility applications. Brian identified a huge potential for a rugged, reliable utility aircraft and commenced a project to grow the cabin of the Cresco. Now, serendipitously, Cresco is Latin for I grow, to better suit the utility skydive market. Now, this project evolved into what is the 750XL. The 750XL first flew in 2001 and received CAA NZ certification in 2023. It was the first new aircraft to be designed in New Zealand in 30 years and has proven to be one of the most effective utility aircraft ever produced. This aircraft does make a difference. Brian is here with us this evening. We'd like to invite you now to the stage, sir, and we'd like to provide you with an award here in recognition of your pivotal role in the development, the production, the funding, the sale and distribution of the 750XL, and we thank you for your leadership and determination. The successful evolution and milestone achievement of the SuperPac 750XL-II stands as a testament to your instrumental vision and contributions. A heartfelt thank you. A round of applause, please, for Brian Hare.
Well, thank you, Steve, and thank you to the team of NZAero. A couple of comments I'd like to make. You have a wonderful standard. Perfect. I wish you well.
I had the privilege of working for Brian between 1995 and 2006. I found him to be an excellent leader and a very determined, driven man, and if it wasn't for Brian, the 750XL would never have been created. So thank you, Brian.
Once again, massive thank you there to Brian here. And the other gentleman that we had a little mention of there was Andy Stevenson. Now, Andy started his flying career over 55 years ago, and he's been an owner-operator for over 40 of those years. Farmers Air Limited commenced operating Fletcher FU-24 aircraft in 1979, moving to the 08600 Cresco in 1992 and the 750XL Falco aircraft in 2011. In 2004, aerial survey firm Kiwi Air Limited was formed and has successfully operated a fleet of 750XL aircraft in some of the most remote places on the planet, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, Andy is known as a man that takes great pride in his equipment and knows that if he looks after his gear, it will look after him. Andy has always made improvements to his aircraft, enhancing the product to make it more efficient, more enjoyable to operate, and also more profitable. To improve the operating environment of his Cresco fleet, Andy removed the sliding canopy and installed gull wing doors, and this feature can be seen today on the 750XL. The 750XL Falco enhancement was developed in 2011 from Andy's extensive industry experience in agricultural operations and introduces a 3,000-litre hopper and hydraulic flaps and gate box. The latest development is the Super Falco that introduces the PT6A 140AG engine. Andy is here with us this evening, and again, we'd like to invite you to the stage, sir. Come and join us up here because we would like to give you something in our gratitude here this evening. In recognition of your commitment across the decades to the Fletcher, Cresco and 750XL across the decades and your support of NZAero during the development of the SuperPac, we thank you, Andy, for your trust in the product and development of the Super Falco. These are significant milestones for us both. A round of applause one more time, please. Andy Stevenson.
I just wanted to say a few words. Thank you, Stephen. I'm honoured to receive this recognition. It is accepted with pride by myself, family, and all who have helped me on the way. But really, it's Neil and Dee's day. All the money, time and worry that they have put into the company to save it, and then to get to this stage to do today, you need special recognition. We're all impressed. We played the World Cup, but to me this is far greater achievement. Thank you for keeping this company in New Zealand, Neil and Dee. You probably do not realise how important you are to us and our businesses. NZAero is vital. Also, all the skilled people that have been with the company for so long in evolving the aircraft to this magnificent aeroplane. I keep running into guys and girls who have known each aircraft personally and have stories for each one. It blows me away. It's very personal. There are so many here today I see who were here when I picked up my first Fletcher. We're truly all family in some strange way that only aviators understand. But since I wrote that, I think only probably train spotters are about the same. This whole Pacific aerospace, and now NZAero, must be a disease of some sort. It blows me away, the knowledge and passion. We're all passionate about the Fletcher, Cresco, SuperPac, because there's a great aircraft and does the job, and it becomes part of us. The add-ons I have done are because different models from the factory over the years has built my bank balance. This aircraft is strong, sturdy, safe, comfortable, quiet, hauls the load, easy to maintain and easy on the pocket. The aircraft is an operator's machine and makes money. The XLA is 101, the prototype, 20 years old, 16,000 hours, round the world twice, once with Brian and once with us, 2 years or more in Africa, and 10 years top dressing and good for another 30 years. And look at it, it just says it all, really. Did I say they are good? I've only ever paid myself a wage, and everything else goes back into the business and the aircraft. Operated correctly, this aircraft works hard and gives a healthy return to an operator's bank balance. Profit is not a dirty word. Without profit, there are no wages. no modifications, no safety, and no New Zealand Aero. By the way, New Zealand Aero, good branding, I like it. Yeah. Without logic, I have really only done modifications for safety, pilot company, and increase my bottom line to make my day easier. I'm just naturally lazy. I can only see success ahead for New Zealand Aero, as there is no other aircraft in the world that matches the SuperPac. If there was, I would be operating it. Neil and Dee and Stephen and all the dedicated staff and suppliers, thank you for helping me and being so good to work with and part of it. It is appreciated. Thank you.
Andy, thank you very much for those very kind words, and once again, congratulations and thank you for your support for these fantastic aircraft. Well, folks, this has been a great opportunity for us to be able to come together to celebrate the launch of this, the SuperPac 750XL-II. We have an opportunity now to do a bit of networking. Feel free to once again come and have a look at this aircraft. Just before we do that, I'd like to say a massive thank you to the NZAero team, to Neil, Dee, Stephen, Sheila, Gary, to Ray and your team, and to everybody here who's been working diligently and so hard to be able to do this in this space. Thank you to you, our guests, for joining with us here this evening. It is a wonderful opportunity to share the expertise and the innovation that we have here in New Zealand out to the world. To our online audience, thank you very much indeed for joining with us here, and certainly hope to see you here in the factory as well when you're coming in to pick up your aircraft. So folks, thank you very much indeed. We are here for the next half hour or so. We have beverage, we have food, relaxed amongst the space, and we have a short video here for you. Some of the experiences of our individuals through the day with our aircraft. Thank you very much indeed for joining with us here for the launch of the SuperPac 750XL-II. Cheers.
Climb's absolutely fantastic, and according to our pilot, he'll keep on doing that to 20,000 feet. A fantastic aircraft in every respect. I'm sold.
You can definitely feel the extra power, that's for sure.
Well, I'm pretty excited to be here. This is the only New Zealand manufacturer of aircraft, and there are not many of these in the world.
This place is incredible because the whole aircraft pretty much is made here. All the parts come from here. The passion of all the people that work there, I thought I've been absolutely blown away by.
climb's absolutely fantastic, and according to our pilot, he'll keep on doing that to 20,000 feet. A fantastic aircraft in every respect. I'm sold.
You can definitely feel the extra power, that's for sure.
I'm pretty excited to be here. This is the only New Zealand manufacturer of aircraft, and there are not many of these in the world.
This place is incredible because the whole aircraft pretty much is made here. All the parts come from here. The passion of all the people that work there, I thought I've been absolutely blown away by.
Climb's absolutely fantastic, and according to our pilot, he'll keep on doing that to 20,000 feet. A fantastic aircraft in every respect. I'm sold.
You can definitely feel the extra power, that's for sure.
I'm pretty excited to be here. This is the only New Zealand manufacturer of aircraft, and there are not many of these in the world.
This place is incredible because the whole aircraft pretty much is made here. All the parts come from here. The passion of all the people that work there, I thought I've been absolutely blown away by.